Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to BathroomBrewsMTG, the YouTube channel where I'll tell you about my bad ideas and hopefully turn it into something that you won't want to flush away. And in this week, I'll be talking about Dimir attractions. So attractions are these really cool, well, I think they're cool anyways, artifacts from the last unset, Unfinity. They go in their own deck. There are 22 that are legal in Commander. You need at least 10 in constructed formats. I'm personally running 21 of the 22. The last one deals with stickers, and I don't want to touch that mechanic with a 10-foot pole, and I don't think our opponents do either. Of the 21 attractions I've included, my 3 personal favorite are Tunnel of Love, Ferris Wheel, and Swinging Ship. Tunnel of Love lets you either fight or blink an opponent's creature. Ferris Wheel is phasing stuff out, and Swinging Ship is additional combats. They'll be on the screen here and also in the deck link down below. I built the deck with a focus on attractions, and because attractions roll dice, I've included dice rolling as well, which leads me perfectly to my commander. DK, Finder of the Lost. She's a 3 mana, 1 generic, 1 blue, 1 black, for a 1/4 zombie employee legendary creature that says, when she enters the battlefield, you open an attraction. Whenever you roll a 2, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Whenever you roll a 4, you may tap or untap target artifact or creature, and whenever you roll a 6, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Great, so what else can we add to the deck? Because there aren't enough cards for just attractions and dice rolling, unfortunately. Well, not yet anyways, hopefully soon. So I'm going to go with an artifact sub-theme here. Because attractions are artifacts, like I mentioned earlier, we can add different artifact synergies to either let us draw cards or abuse just artifacts in general, and then artifact-based win conditions. This sounds like a fun deck. Rolling dice, using artifacts, a little bit of RNG. So excited to build this deck. So let's get right into it. Aside from our commander, there are 9 cards in the deck that let us open up attractions. And of those 9 cards that open attractions, only 5 of them will open attractions when they enter the battlefield. 1 of them will enter when it dies. Another one will deal combat damage to a player. And the other 2 are sorceries that let us open up 1 attraction or 2 attractions. Okay, that's not awful. So we have 10 ways, including our commander, to open attractions. But that means we're only going to be opening 10 attractions in a game, unless we combo with our commander. Well, why don't we add some blink cards? Conjuring Closet, Thassa Deep Dwelling, maybe Panharmonicon to double up on the enter the battlefield effects. Of course, you don't need just the most expensive blink cards. Planar Incursion, Nefarious Time Twist are 2 instants that would be really good in the deck if you're on a tighter budget. And if you choose to add this blink package, you can always add cards like Solemn Simulacrum or Baleful Strix that are artifacts that synergize with entering the battlefield. Now, other than just blink, what else can we do? The next thing my mind went to are clone effects. And the great thing about clones are we can blink them and we can have them enter something else again. So it's sort of like doubling up on our enter the battlefield trick with the Panharmonicon. Okay, this is great. So what are some of the clones we'd want to add to the deck? Spark Double, Phyrexian Metamorph, Mirror Maid. Some great includes that are on a budget would be Sculpting Steel, Replication Specialist, and maybe even Echo Storm, because our commander's so cheap, if we play her enough, we can use Echo Storm to copy an artifact over and over again. Okay, we have our clone effects, so let's discuss how we're going to use them in the deck in order to get value and hopefully win. Create copies of attractions that we already have out, or to copy creatures to reuse their ETBs. There'll be other cards in the deck we'll want to clone other than just our attractions, and a lot of those will be involving dice as well. And let's get into dice, baby. So, Adventuring the Forgotten Realms, the Commander precons that came with it, Commander Legends Baldur's Gate, and Unfinity released a metric ton of new dice cards. And now, I'm not going to go over all of them in this deck that I've included, or just all of them that are available. You can go on Scryfall and check that out for yourself. 3 of my favorite, though, that I've included in my deck is Wizard Spellbook, Vexing Puzzle Box, and the Deck of Many Things. And what's great is these are all artifacts, and 2 of them aren't legendary, which means we can use a cloning effect to create copies of them, use them more than once each turn. Deck of Many Things has a little drawback, but I think it's a fun RNG card to go with the theme of the deck. And one of the great things that has come out of these dice rolling cards are ways to change your rolls. Vidalcan Squirrelwhacker, Bamboozling Beeble, and Night Shift of the Living Dead all let us augment or change our rolls in one way or another. Night Shift, we can pay 1 life and increase or decrease the result of a dice by 1. We can only do this once each turn though. Bamboozling Beeble, we can pay 1, tap it. The next time we roll 1 or more dice, instead we roll that many dice plus 1, and we can choose one of the rolls to ignore. And then Vidalcan Squirrelwhacker lets us roll d6s, and we can change its power and toughness out with one of the results from our d6. these are great because all attractions will miss on a 1 and hit on a 6. So if we roll a 5, change it to a 6. If we roll a 1, we can make it into a 2. Okay, this is great. So we can try to augment to get an exact number that we need. Even changing a 19 to a 20 in some cases could be huge. We're going to want more than just our commander to pay off us rolling dice. Netherize, whatever. Puzzle Ward, Feywild Trickster, and Vexing Puzzle Block are all great dice payoffs. Especially Feywild Trickster. Whenever we roll 1 or more dice, we create a 1/1 Blue Fairy Dragon creature token with flying. And if we include some of our clone effect and make additional copies of that creature, oh man, we can be swinging out with a bunch of 1/1 Blue Fairies. It'll be great. Attractions? Check. Dice rolling? Check. Alright, so all we have left to talk about are the artifact subtheme and win conditions. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time going over artifact staples. EDHREC will be a great resource for you if you want to see all of them. Some of the ones I've included: Thought Monitor, Thoughtcast, and Shimmering Drake. All these let us draw cards with artifacts. Another great include would be Clock of Omens, allowing you to tap your attractions to untap other artifacts. There are a ton of synergies in this theme, so there's way too many to go over in this video. Something to note though is attractions don't go to the graveyard. They go to their own separate pile that you can't interact with once they're there, unless they're exiled. So if you exile them, you can use Karn the Great Creator to maybe pull them out of exile, but otherwise, when you sacrifice them or they get destroyed, there's no way of getting them back, so be careful not to sacrifice them to effect like KCI. But how are we going to win? We can't just roll dice till our opponents die from the drain on our commander. Well, artifact decks do have a lot of combos. Sensei's Divining Top, Aetherflux, Bolas' Citadel's one of them. I'm not going to go into all of them because I don't include them in the deck, but you can use EDHREC and you can find them yourself. Some of the cards I've included for win conditions are Rise and Shine, Cyberdrive Awakener, Tezzeret Master of the Bridge. Both Rise and Shine and Cyberdrive Awakener turn our non-creature artifacts into creatures that we can swing out with, and then Tezzeret Master of the Bridge lets us drain our opponents for each artifact we control. Now these are just the win conditions I've decided to go with. A, because I think it's funny swinging out with a 4/4 claw game, let's say. And Tezzeret Master of the Bridge has been one of the Planeswalkers I've wanted to play the most since I've owned one, but I've never found a deck for it. I finally do. I'll have a link to my personal deck in the video description below. It's a $100 budget. And that wraps up episode 3 of Bathroom Brews. Thank you for making it all the way to the end of the video. You can find a link to the deck in the video description below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell to get a notification when all my videos go live. I'll have a link to my other 2 videos on the title card somewhere on the screen here, or you can go check out my channel. This has been Ben. Thanks for watching, and remember, always wash your hands.